We've talked a little bit about how this was done for the Kings via the G-Man, I guess the real story. But how else did the Kings get this done? What was the win? What were the keys? Maybe you missed the game. Maybe you didn't get a chance to listen to it, and you're just hopping in your car now or just turning on your radio or the YouTube, whatever it may be. Well, we're going to fill you in right here, right now, with a little thing we like to call Kings Rewind. Well, it's a new year. Will it be a new Sacramento Kings team?
I'm going to save you some time, sweetie, and give you the answer now. I don't know.
Sorry, Dave picked the absolute wrong time to start distracting me.
What did he do?
I'll tell you later.
Okay. Yeah, Dave's in here on the chat. Dave will be back with us Monday after his time off. All right, let's start fresh again. Let's go from the top. We get to start from the top?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. It's a new year. Will it be a new Sacramento Kings team?
I'm going to save you some time, sweetie, and give you the answer now. I don't know.
2024 ended with a much-needed win, and 2025 starts with a matchup against Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, and Joel Embiid, who opted to rest on night one, I should say, of a back-to-back.
Back-to-back, I like that record.
The Kings were playing shorthanded, too, as Keegan Murray was out with an injured ankle.
I can hear you speculating about the nature and origin of my injury from my office. I tripped over an uneven sidewalk. I did not think it was relevant to your jobs, the jobs which you should all be doing right now.
Interim head coach Doug Christie opted to put Keon Ellis into the starting lineup to go with Domas, Monk, Fox, and DeRozan.
What a smart kid you are.
The other storyline from this game was that Doug Christie was working the Kings sideline while his former teammate and Sacramento favorite Bobby Jackson was the lead assistant for Philly. What were they saying?
You sold out.
You
don't remember hearing all the fans saying that?
Oh, so many of them saying that. Early on, Paul George went to work and was lighting up the Kings defense.
Stop it. Get some help.
Thanks, MJ. Without Embiid, and when Andre Drummond wasn't on the floor, Domantas Sabonis would rack up a first-half double-double. At halftime, this game was tied, and Philly's all-star Tyrese Maxey had just 6 points.
I'm starting to like this guy.
In the third quarter, Maxey started to go off as he exploited several mismatches against the Kings.
Just kidding. I still hate you.
Another game and more frustrations hit the Kings as Trey Lyles would pick up a technical foul.
I'm going to lose my freaking mind.
The Kings were leaking oil again. Their turnover numbers were growing. The 76ers were turning those into points. And it was another game where the Kings were getting crushed at the three-point line, not making them and not stopping them.
Find a happy place. Find a happy place. Find a happy place.
As the Kings entered the fourth quarter, they trailed by 9 points.
Here we go again.
Fourth quarter, Fox started to really get going as he took off. De'Aaron was keeping the Kings in striking distance.
What does the fox say?
Like many games, this was going to come down to crunch time.
That's not good.
With about 3.5 minutes to play, the Kings were still down by 9, and to make the comeback, they needed lots of stops and plenty of hoops.
I can't watch this anymore. It's over. Turn the lights out. Let's get the bulldozers in here and turn this place into a parking lot.
The game's final 8 possessions on defense, Sacramento held the Sixers to 4 missed shots, 4 turnovers, and 0 points.
You shall not pass!
The game's final 8 possessions on offense, Sacramento turned it over once, but made all 4 of their shot attempts and went a perfect 6 for 6 from the line.
He's on fire!
All told, the game's final 15 points went to the Sacramento Kings, and yet another double-digit comeback win.
Don't call it a comeback!
Hey, that's 2 straight for the Kings.
That's called a winning streak. It has happened before.
That's a win to close out 2024 and a perfect start to 2025.
King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
The team felt so good about it, they took their celebration photo right by the beam. Up next, they host the second-place Memphis Grizzlies on Friday night.
What are you looking at, stupid bear?
What is that from?
I don't know.
No, you said it. And I said the last thing again about that photo by the beam on the roof. Really cool video on social media. The Kings have released it. I know lots of people have retweeted it and posted it again. Basically, a quick chat in the locker room, and Doug basically, proud of you guys, good win. But put your sweats on, get warm, and come with me. And you're going, what's happening here? Well, they make their way to the roof. They end up doing Luke Laux, who's hands out the defensive player of the game, and gives some other shout-outs to some players. Crowns DeMar DeRozan, and then they up there taking another team iconic photo by the beam, and then Doug just incredible words of encouragement and kind of what this team means to this city, and I think he's spot on in so many choice words that he said. That this beam represents the team represents the light of the city, and this beam does too. And these guys can make that impact. And Doug knows what a good team can do for this city because he was on it, and he knows what this team could do for the city and what they had been doing. Look, the team was in just an awful spiral, and everybody collectively was down. They had to make a significant move. And I still think there's probably more moves to come via trade. I mean, just would be, unless it totally flips and they've restored order and they just look like a completely different team for weeks before the deadline, I just would be surprised based on what I said last week, but earlier in the week when they made the move. You made the move to try to salvage your season, not to, hey, we're just doing something, let's count down the games and we're playing for next year. This team still has hopes of doing something this year. And I think we've all said there are some holes in the roster. Well, that needs to be addressed, and the way to address it in season is with a trade. So I believe they will do something by the deadline. It's just what? To what level?